Hello, here are few tips on answering CV based interview questions. Here are the few components of a CV which are important. 1. Contact details. 2. Personal statement or objectives. 3. Academics. 4. Skills or languages spoken. 5. Projects. 6. Work experience. 7. Extracurricular activities. 8. Interests, hobbies, passions. 9. References and declarations. Recruiters consider it fair game to ask questions related to anything on your resume. 1. Use your CV to guide the course of the interview towards your strengths. And 2. Avoid mentioning projects or skills related to a domain if you're uncomfortable fielding questions related to that domain. What are the commonly asked questions on career objectives? Why do you want to work as a content writer or any other role? Why do you want to work for us? What do you know about our company? Writing is my hobby. I have been writing blogs for the past 3 years. You can go through some of my posts at www.myblog.com. I intend to write a book someday. This role is perfect for me. I have been building software apps as a hobby for a while now. Some simple 2D games that I have built are available at GitHub. With this job, I would be paid to work on something that I have already been pursuing as my hobby. If you have included a personal statement or career objectives statement, ensure that it aligns with the role that you are applying for. The next question could be, why do you want to work for us? What do you know about a company? For this, you must do your homework. Go through the website of the company you are applying for. Understand its mission and values. Understand the customers of this company and how it delivers value to those customers. If possible, get introduced to an existing employee in that organization using your network of contacts or alums. Have a conversation about the company with your contact before the interview. Mention it during the interview to showcase your diligence. What are the commonly asked questions on education, academics, with some suggested answers? They can ask, why did you decide to become an engineer? Why did you decide to focus on English for your BA? I have always linked tinkering with electronic and mechanical devices as a child. I like building stuff, taking things apart and generally figuring out how things work. Engineering was a natural fit for me. I have always been a voracious bookworm. I guess you could have even say that I come from a family of bookworms because everyone in my family reads a lot. English and literature are my passions. Use this question as an opportunity to talk about your passions in life and how they align with your chosen educational stream. They might ask, why are your grades so poor? I really felt free for the first time in my life during my college years. I was used to being motivated by parental pressure and struggled to be disciplined without external motivation. But I believe that I have now acquired the discipline to become a self-motivated, responsible person. I was nominated to be the placement representative or any extracurricular activity. I prioritized that role over my academics. I think that I have learned more through real-world organizational experience than through books. Acknowledge your lack of focus and discipline. Express your regret at the poor effort you have put in academically and point out reasons why you are on the mend. What are the questions on skills, languages, or software tools? How does the Java compiler ensure platform independence? Why don't you introduce yourself in French? What is a pivot table? If you mention in your resume that you are proficient in a particular domain, you can definitely expect questions in that domain. Be prepared to field questions related to fundamentals in that domain. What are the commonly asked questions on academic or extracurricular projects? Explain this project in very simple terms as though you're talking to a 7-year-old. What are the potential real-world applications of this project? I built an automated braking system that uses infrared sensors to detect if there are obstacles ahead and automatically apply brakes. It could be used in cars and trains to avoid collisions. My team analyzed all available data compression techniques to identify the optimal compression technique for specific scenarios, streaming videos, sending secure file attachments, etc. This graph explains our findings in details. You should avoid jargons, focus on real-world applications of your projects, and present your information visually. They might ask you, what are your key learnings from this project? What were your contributions? Primarily, I would say that I learned using MATLAB for this project and I have become quite proficient at it. I learned the importance of early feedback. We often interacted with our assigned professor much early during the project, and hence we were able to incorporate all his inputs so that we could really make an impression. Have a list of bullet points on learnings, technical as well as non-technical. Be ready to talk about them if asked. If this was a team project, you should be prepared to answer when asked about your specific contribution to the project. What are the commonly asked questions on work experience, full-time as well as internships? What were your roles and responsibilities? How did you help the company and its customers? I worked in sales, specifically telecalling. I would call up leads and explain our value proposition. I achieved 24 conversions totaling $5,300 during my 2-month internship. When a conversation happened, I was happy because I was adding value to my company and to the customer who made the purchase. I built a free mobile app for making appointments with dentists online. Consumers benefited by being able to find highly rated dentists and book appointments. Dentists received more patients. My proposal to remind users to schedule a checkup if they had not visited a dentist in 2 years was accepted and built into the app. Link your daily task to the value created for the company as well as its customers. Use specific metrics to measure the impact of your work. Highlight any process or requirement change proposed by you during the work. They might inquire, what were your learnings? If you were to do this job again from scratch, what would you do differently? I have learned the importance of asking for critical feedback from my manager and from my peers. If I were to do it all again, I would proactively schedule feedback sessions myself to understand where I can improve myself. The biggest learning was the importance of the user interface in driving engagement. Most users would move on if they didn't find someone or something useful or interesting within the first 6 seconds. A website has to make a fantastic first impression to gain traction. Have a list of items that you have learned from your job or internship. It could be technical. You have now become proficient in SQL. It could be process oriented, or it could be the business level. What are the commonly asked questions on extracurricular activities, interests, and passions? They can ask, what have you learned from your hobbies? How did you benefit from attending this event? What paper did you present at this seminar? Playing TT has taught me the importance of practice. When I started playing first, I was simply no good. Now I'm winning tournaments in TT. Practice makes perfect. We presented a paper on this impact of segregating waste so that food waste can be easily converted to compost for manure. The manure helps the growth of trees and waste segregation reduces landfill utilization. Brush up on the events or contests, etc. that you have participated in and presentations that you have made at technical seminars, etc. For all hobbies, passions and interests that you have mentioned in your CV, you should be able to articulate the benefits that you derive out of it. Even if it is something as simple as yoga helps me relax and boost my energy levels. They might ask, how can you say that this event that you had organized was a success? How did the students at your campus benefit from this club? I was the treasurer of Puzzles, a student organized club. We've conducted 8 contests on campus with a total of 2,500 plus participants. Our brain teasers were the talk of the campus. We organized a photography contest for amateur photographers. We got 800 plus submissions and the top 3 were included in the college gazette. It was a fun bonding exercise for all the students. Use specific numbers and metrics when talking about the club's events organized by you. You must be ready to talk about how the other students at your campus benefited from those events that you've organized. The Learning Pundits content team has put in a lot of effort to make this video, and we hope you found it useful. Small gestures of encouragement from you keeps our motivation levels high so that we can continue producing free, high quality educational videos. Please do like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page. We really appreciate your support.